Facebook, amazing, 2025, and magic's gonna happen. This will be the year of your year of the year. I've decided that 2025 is gonna be absolutely amazing. We're gonna crush it in 2025. I feel that this year was just like basically a build up to what's coming 2025. So if you've been thinking about like maybe there's something you want to do, you want to have like maybe a new partner, or maybe you want to get like a new job, or maybe you want to start your own business, or maybe you want to go for the travel of your life, or maybe you want to kind of like I don't know, create something in your life, and you're like, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I can tell you right now that this is the year to do that. 2024 was like a build-up, and now we're going into 2025, and it's going to be amazing. I want to talk a little bit about how we can build that momentum and how we can start to manifest, because manifestation is real, guys. Manifestation is so real. Like I cannot live my life in any other way than manifesting myself through it. Like in the past, I was pushing and I was like trying and I was like forcing, but that drained me. Like it drained me to the point where I got really sick. I couldn't really like I had problems with my liver. I had problems with different parts of me, and that literally didn't like function in the same way. And it was because I was pushing too hard. I was like pushing, and I came to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop and do nothing and heal my body. And when I started to do that, and then it was like, how do I do this in a good way? How do I get my life to kind of like build momentum, and how do I attract things into my life so I don't have to like drain myself? I was so drained. I was so like I was literally sick. And then I was thinking, after this break that I had, like, how can I make this so I can last my whole life? How can I make sure that I attract things into my life instead of like trying to push and force and like do like how do I say this? Like there's a term out there like work hard and you will like that's the only thing you need to do, like push. That necessarily does not work for a lot of people. For me, I got sick. It was not, like, it doesn't really function. When I discovered this thing about, like, attracting things into my life started to, like, take off in a way that I couldn't really understand. I've been, like, traveling all around the world, and I've been living in different parts, and I've been, like, having different businesses, and I've been meeting partners, and I've been like manifesting money into my life in a way that I couldn't really understand. Like I couldn't see where it came from, and then boom, it was just in front of me. That's the magical with this thing. So if you want to kind of like make sure that happens to you this year, let's talk about it, because I love this topic. This topic is like manifestation for me is like music. And when we talk about manifestation, it's basically creation. And this topic is kind of like sensitive in a way, because how you get things come to you is being in a really good vibration. And a vibration is like a feeling. A feeling is an emotion, which is a vibration. So when I was negative, and when I was like sad and I was angry and I had all of this kind of like low vibration frequencies, what happened was that I attracted the same. So I attracted other angry people, or I attracted other sad people, or I attracted like negativity when I was negative. And then I shifted my internal, and all of a sudden I started to get stuff back in a different way. And I was like, whoa, this stuff is actually working. Like I really could see that instead of all of these people that complained or just like normally just negative, those people didn't come into my life anymore. And all of a sudden, I stood there. I was like, I like this. This is really cool. And when you see it working for yourself, when you see things like actual results, all of a sudden you're like, I want more. I want more of that thing that just, whatever it was, it gave me this whatever. It gave me the trip. It gave me the work. It gave me travels or a person. Many times a person is someone that you attract into your life of who you are rather than what you want. And when we understand that it's like who we are, then we want to get better, because then we attract in better people. So when we focus on us, and when we focus on what's inside of us, and when we focus on how we feel on our day-to-day basis, all of a sudden the game becomes about how you feel. It becomes about your well-being, and it becomes about who you are and how you show up in this world. And now we're talking, because this is the fun part. Here healing comes in, detoxification, like personal development, like all of these things that is really funny and juicy. All of those stuff is all of a sudden like interesting. And it's very important, because if we don't do them, well, we keep attracting the same thing over and over and over again. And that's not so fun. So manifestation can be done in a few steps. And I have an event that comes up at the 26th of January, and I have a 4-step process on this event. And this 4-step process, it's quite simple actually. The first part is the intention part and the energy, because if we don't really take care of our energy, if this is not good, you will not have energy. And when we have energy, we can do more things. And the only thing that we actually need to have is energy, if that's making some sort of sense. And when we have energy, all of a sudden we can do things that we didn't thought was possible. So in the first kind of phase, we have energy. In the second phase, it's the reset phase, and that's where we kind of take things off of what we're about to do. So if we say we want to go somewhere, maybe we can't carry the shame. Maybe we can't carry the beliefs, the stories, and the internal things that runs the program right now. We can't continue with the same to get a different outcome. So all of a sudden we need to strip off all of that old conditioning and the old fear. And when we strip off all of that, all of a sudden we are kind of empty. And when we're empty, we can put something new in. So we can put whatever we want into the vehicle, and the vehicle that we want us to take us to on the journey that we want to experience. So you are the vehicle, I'm the vehicle, and you're in this meat suit life human experience, and I am too. And this is what we use to make sure that we're gonna get the things that we want. So when we're taking that out in the reset phase, we come to the third phase, which is basically the build up and how we put the new stuff in. And we put in the new stuff that we want this time, not what we was conditioned of in the past. Not that someone just accidentally gave to us, rather than something we choose how we want to live our life. And when we can choose how we want to live our life, all of a sudden we can choose the story, we can choose the beliefs, we can choose how we look at life and where we're going. And all of a sudden we take back the power to ourselves in a way that we haven't had before, and we start to create and manifest the things into our life. It's a very super cool process. And when we really finally understand this process, we can get anything that we want. There's nothing that you can't get when you do this process. It's a very, very cool way of looking at life. It makes sure that you are not stressed, first of all, and you are going the path that you want, and you get the things that you want. Because many times we push and we push and we push and we try to get something, and it doesn't come to us. And this is why. It's because you are not in resonance and alignment. You are not in alignment with the things that you want. So if there's something that you want in your life, if you're not in energetically alignment in your energy inside of you, not how you look or how you dress, if the alignment is wrong, you will not get the thing that you want. If you want a partner that's amazing and you acting like a bitch, you're not gonna get it. If you want money and your money beliefs and your story about money is wrong, like I had, like money doesn't grow on tree and like money is not everywhere, it's not for everyone. This is the beliefs that I had. And of course I couldn't make money because I thought there was not enough money. So when we change those things inside of us, all of a sudden it just comes to you naturally without you doing anything. And I know maybe this sounds like crazy to you because you never experienced it, but I tell you, I'm a living proof that that is true. And this is what all the event is about on the 26th of January. To make sure that we align ourselves to the things that we want, and then with ease, we attract them in. The business, the work, the career, the money, the partner, the travels, the joy, the fun, all that stuff is possible for any person when you know how to align yourself up to the things that you want. It's a 4-step process. It's actually really simple. I've done this my life. I've been traveling the whole fucking world the last 5-6 years. I made more fucking money and I had more fun. It's crazy. I know it maybe sounds like bragging, but it's not. It's just like telling you that it's possible. Like last year, 2024, I lived in Mexico. I lived in Scotland. I lived in Portugal. I lived in India. I lived in Sweden. And I was in Peru. All of these places in 1 year. It was wild what life brought, like what kind of journey just like life brought me on. So now I'm here to teach you the exact same thing that I am doing, and I'm doing this on a live event, like an in-person event on the 26th of January. And there is already people from Norway coming. I think there's some people also from UK coming. There's Swedish people. It's just like all of these people that want to set themselves up for 2025 and further on to like, this is the way I want to live my life. This is the way, like, I'm going to stop pushing. I'm going to stop trying. I'm going to make sure that I educate myself and I align my internal energy with the things that I want, so that thing can come to me. So I don't have to push, I don't have to look for it. It's just gonna appear in front of me, and I'm gonna make sure that I learn how to manifest things into my life this way. When I just know how to align myself with the things that I want, I can align myself every single time. If there's a new idea you want, align yourself with that thing and boom, it comes to you. It's just like magically someone talks about it, someone calls you, you meet someone, like it comes in your mail or whatever. I know maybe it sounds crazy, but it's not. It's true. If you don't believe me, you can later on watch all my YouTube videos. I've been traveling the world the last years. It's just been unbelievable, and I'm so grateful that I learned this technique so I can keep doing this thing. And I come to this point where I was like, I can teach this now. I can teach how I manifest. I can teach how I help people align their energy to what they want so they can get it faster. Some manifestations, believe me or not, some manifestation, they comes in hours, in minutes. It's just like boom, it just shows up. I know for some people it's hard to believe, but when you see it for the first time, you're like, I'm hooked. I don't want to do anything else. Why should I even kind of like go out there and try and push and like, when I have a way to just align listen to it. It's logical. If you attract what you are, not what you want. This is the thing that most people don't understand. You always attract what you are. When you align this thing, when you change, when you heal, when you look at this, then you know what's inside. And you're like, oh, really? Okay, now I know what's going on. Now I understand why these people that whine and bitch on me and they are like mean to me comes into my life. Because life is a mirror of you. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of you, and life try to tell you something. So if you get mean people in your life, it might mean that you are mean to yourself. If you understand what I mean. Not consciously. I'm not saying that you are consciously like, oh, I'm gonna be mean. No. Maybe you pick this up from a parent, someone, a caregiver, and subconsciously you are kind of like beating yourself up sometimes. Like, oh, I'm not good enough, or like, I can't do this, or like, maybe you doubt because you don't believe in what you've been doing, or like, in life itself. Maybe someone have kind of like broke your trust at some point. Maybe someone was mean, and you're like, and the more you go on, the more mean, or what, I'm just saying something here now, the more these people show up, the more you believe it. And when you believe it, you manifest the same thing again. Remember this, you always manifest things into your life, good or bad. This manifestation is not something that you start with when you come to my event in the 26th. It's something that you're already doing. We are just calibrating what the fuck you're doing. You understand? We are changing. So instead of kind of like get the negative shit, you get the positive. And I know it can be hard to understand because it's like, I used to have like, how can this even happen to me? Like, how can that? I tell you, it's possible. Because it's just as easy to get the positive as it is to get the negative. You just been doing it. It's called counter manifesting. Counter manifesting. You've been doing it your whole life, probably. And when you learn this, it's like, it's a relief inside. You're like, holy shit, why haven't I seen this before? Because when you've done it once, you can do it twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do it 10 times. If you can do it for the rest of your life. Elin. Hej Elin. Jag tror att du är svensk också, för du heter Gustafsson i efternamn. How do I sign up? It's a very good question. I have a page. There's an event on my Facebook page. And on this like event, I put up an event just recently. And you can read about it. And then there is a link. And you can sign up there. And you can read more about it. And yeah. So, hey, yes, svensk, just det. So there's a lot, like there's gonna be I know there's Norwegian people showing up they're already bought tickets, and there's UK like English people that's also gonna come. That's amazing. And so I kind of like, that's why I do this in English, but there's also Swedish people of course. Så det är svenska personer som kommer också. Och jag kommer hålla hälften i svensk. Jag kommer prata svenska och engelska. So I'm gonna go in between so everyone can understand. Men det vore kul om du kom, Elin. Definitivt. Och det finns på min Facebook-sida. Du hittar... Jag tror att... Vänta nu. Jag försöker tänka efter här. Jo, men jag har postat det på min feed. Så om du scrollar ner i feeden så kommer du kunna se. Och jag kan lägga den där efter den här liven, så kan jag lägga den där igen. Så att folk ser den. But do you understand how like it's so cool when you understand that you're like, oh, it's all about me. Is it online or in person? Det är in person, alltså det är på plats. För att vi ska få det här att funka så behöver vi vara på plats. Hela den här, det är en hel dag. Och jag går igenom alla de här sakerna. Och för att man ska få det här verkligen fungera, så behöver man vara samlade liksom. Det blir en annan sak när man kör mot Zoom. Men en jättebra fråga. Super good question. So when we when we understand, it's so fun to play with also. That's the crazy part. When you understand that you're like, I can manifest anything I want. I can just attract it by looking at myself. When I understand that I am a reflection of the world, when I'm a reflection of the world and I understand that, my man, and this 4-step process that I'm teaching, the 26th of January, it's a great way to start like the year, I would say. It's a great way of getting into the state of like starting to manifest. Like manifestation, maybe people don't know about it, but like manifestation is just like aligning myself. I'm gonna say this so many times, aligning myself to the things that I want. And it could be anything, literally anything. A partner, I know a lot of people coming to me like, I want to find the partner of my life. Yes, but you need to align yourself to that partner. You can't find it. It's not gonna come to you unless you are aligned. And then the thing is, you don't have to do much. This is what people don't understand. And like, how does that work out? Well, you are energy. That other person is energy. It's gonna come to you because life is very smart. And like attracts like. It's just like, oh, nice. You're like me. I'm like you. And when that happened, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want a new car. I want a new job. I want my own business maybe. Or like, I want to start traveling the world. Or like, I want to create something. It doesn't matter what it is. If you start and you understand this, you align this thing with you, and this is correct, and you start to build momentum, because it's very, very important. When you start to get momentum with manifesting, it's just like a snowball. The more momentum you get, the more it's just like, okay, I want this, boom, it just like shows up in front of you, which is really cool. Like for example, just take an example. I had a dream that I wanted to work with Formula 1 because my father was a Swedish champion of Sweden. I said Sweden, Swedish champion of go-kart, and when he was younger. So he had a dream of Formula 1, and I had a dream of Formula 1, and then he died, and it didn't really work out the way that I wanted it, but I still had a dream that I wanted to work with Formula 1. I kid you not, this is no joke. I have pictures on it on my Instagram and on my Facebook and like on my YouTube. I manifested myself into Formula 1 and I work with Formula 1, and this is the fun part. This is the fun part. I came in and it was just like easy. I just came in. Everything was just like aligned. They gave me like a clear path. I passed hundreds of people that wanted to come into Formula 1, but I was aligned to Formula 1. All of a sudden, what happened was that they gave me everything. I worked with them, but I realized that is not my calling. I realized this is how you're going to use this. If this blows your mind out, this is how you're going to use manifestation. You're going to use manifestation to go do your things, whatever that is. And when you find that thing out, you either continue and like, this is this thing that's my life purpose. This is what I want to work with. This is the amazing thing that I dreamed of my whole life. Or you're going to realize what I just realized. I realized that when I manifested myself into Formula 1 and when I aligned myself with Formula 1 and it just came to me, I realized that it's not Formula 1 that I'm going to work with. I'm here for something different. So when you go out on your journey and you get to attract a lot of this stuff, you're going to attract situations, people, and all of that's going to be like fun and amazing, and you're going to learn a lot. Maybe you go traveling like I did. I traveled for years. And you know what? They even fucking paid me. They paid me. The manifestation. It's not just that I got a one-time thing. They even fucking paid me. Isn't that crazy? You can go out and you can manifest the dream of your life and they even pay you. Hello! Isn't this crazy? But sometimes I would say, sometimes you realize that this thing that I thought was the dream of my life is not my dream. I'm happy that I got the situation, but you know what? I am meant for something more. I am meant for something bigger, something crazier, something wilder, something cooler. I don't know. But I had that realization. That's why I'm sitting here today and teaching you this thing. Because I noticed that I'm not supposed to be in Formula One. My soul, my inner soul, wants to teach. I'm a teacher. But I need the experience to teach it to you. So what life is very interesting. Life is going to give you the things that you need first. Like me, I had 5, 6, 7 years traveling the world, doing super cool stuff. So I could have the experience in learning manifestation. And now I come to you and I teach it to you. Isn't that wild? And you know what? I was also paid travel. I got paid for traveling. I got paid to do all of this fucking crazy shit. Isn't that wild? That's how cool this is. I can't emphasize enough how all of these years of work that I did was like, I thought I was like, lost. Or I thought I was like, what am I doing? Like, I just traveled the world and I was like, yeah, I'm on a beach. Like, I have this, like, I don't drink alcohol, but I was like on a beach and I found in the jungle. I love the jungle. And I'm like in nature and I had all of these amazing experiences, like super cool hotels. I've been living in Bali. I've been living in Mexico. I've been living in parts of Europe. Like, I've been all around the world. And I was like, I came to a point like, why am I get all this cool stuff, but it doesn't fulfill me really. It's because my purpose, just like you have a purpose, I don't know what it is yet, but first it gives you what you need to experience, and then it gives you the next part of the experience, which is like for me in this, it's to teach you. It's for me to teach you to go do the same thing so you can experience and learn and see what your life is going to be about the next 10 years. Is that making any sense? But if you don't do anything, nothing is coming to you, if you understand. So when we learn this, life is going to take you on a wild ride. Life is going to take, because you're going to manifest things that you didn't even thought was possible. Because this is how it is. Listen to this. This is wild. When I understood this, it blew my mind. Okay, listen. You are manifesting. I do this because I point at the subconscious, like in the back of my head. You are attracting things into your life from your subconscious mind. It's the most strongest part of you. It's like literally it runs everything inside of you. Sometimes when you manifest things that you don't want. Is this making sense? I'm going to explain what I mean. You manifest, most people, they do the counter manifesting. So they manifest things that they don't want. That's like negative people, like no paid, like really bad paid work or bad situations and experiences. It's because those things run in the back of the mind of that person. You're still manifesting, but you're manifesting the things that you don't want. Because the things that you say that you don't want, you also manifest. Because the word don't disappears. And it means like I don't want means like I want. I know it's super strange, but that's how it works. So when we learn a few tools, the 4 steps that I'm going to teach you on this day, you're going to know exactly point to point and you can go back to it. So if you get off course, you're like, okay, back. I was talking the wrong way, or my energy was off. Energy was off. That's why I got this. But when you understand that life is a mirror of you, literally everything that comes into your life is a mirror of your subconscious. When you accept and understand that life is a mirror of your subconscious. You can change your subconscious to get the things that you want. Yay! Super fun. When we understand that our life is a reflection of our subconscious, we're like, okay, let's play this game really bad. That's what I thought. It's like, oh shit, life is a reflection of my subconscious. I can just change the subconscious and all of a sudden I get the things that I want. Does that make sense to you? This is a super cool process, guys. I can explain it very shortly. The first step, it's about our energy. Because when our energy is off, when we don't know how to change how we feel and the energy we admit to other people, when we can't put ourselves in a good state that gives us, that radiates to the world, because you radiate energy all the time. There is never a moment that you radiate energy. So the signal you're sending signals. This is very, like, you're sending it all the time. If that signal is off or wrong accordingly to what you want, we need to change it. So the first part in this first step is to know, and I have a really cool process of how to do this, so you're all fine. And I do this on myself all the time. I always get what I want. There is nothing in my life that I haven't gotten, that I don't want. Like, I get everything, always. There is no question about that, which is super cool, because all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I am the creator of my life. And then you realize that, like, oh, I can choose. All of a sudden you can take the book, like, you have a book, this is the universe, and you're like, oh, I want this thing, I want this thing, oh, I want this thing too, and oh, I would like a new car, oh, I want a super cool partner, I want, and I want new friends. I want new friends that match my energy. I want new friends that think like I think. I want people around me that are amazing. Like, it's when you then know how to change the signal that you're sending out, you can just like tune it with this, and you're tuning it in and you're tuning it in, and you're like, oh, that didn't work, or I got something that maybe didn't work. Okay, let's try this frequency instead. I'm like, oh, that's a good frequency, that sounds amazing. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I like this one, let's go. And you're up for this kind of like journey. So what I've been doing all of these years is just like, oh, how do I tune? How do I change my frequency? How do I do this? And I've been like tuning in, tuning out, and like trying until massive breakthrough. I found out how I can do it over and over and over and over again. And like literally everything that I want, I get. And so now I'm going to teach this to you. So when you can tune your frequency, when you can tune this, it's really fun. I promise you, because all of a sudden, like, okay, think about this. Imagine every time you're like surprised with something positive. Imagine you're like, someone comes with a gift and you're like, oh, you have a gift for me? And then you take the gift and you're like, oh, it's a gift that I really wanted. You understand? That's the most fun, right? When you get a gift that you really want. This is manifestation. You're like, oh, I get a gift? Well, I wanted it. And all of a sudden you can continue, you understand, you can continue to do this, and you can get gift after gift after gift. And you're just like, it's amazing. It's so fun. And this is just the first part. The first part is to dial in the kind of like the frequency. When we dial in the frequency and the energy, all of a sudden we make ourselves feel good. So like a bonus on this is that you feel good. You're like, oh shit, you know what? I used to feel shit, But now I'm actually I'm actually like excited. I'm feeling happy. And this is because our natural state is happiness. If we're not happy, if there's something that is really off, it's a sign. Again, it's a mirror. Like life is a mirror. Your emotions are a mirror to you. If there's something wrong, you feel shit. You understand? And when we can accept this and we're kind of like, okay, you know what? I don't feel really good. Why is that? What's going on in my life? What's driving this thing? So you don't just get the stuff, you also get to feel really good when you dial in the stuff inside of you. And this is crucial for having this manifestation to work. Because like most people, they manifest negativity. It's because that's the way they feel. And it's no judgment. It's just like, that's how just life is. We're not given a manual when we're born, like, hey, do this and become successful. No. We're like, do this, feel happy. No. Everyone is on this journey and no one's been told what to do. And then we have to go out, and I know it's really hard. And you can feel, I felt so lost so many times. I felt like I was almost depressed, and I was like, there was a point, I'm going to admit it, there was a point in my life where I wanted to basically, I was suicidal. And I was like, I don't want life to be this way. I don't want, like, why should I be here if I'm going to feel like shit anyway? Like, why? I had things that I wanted to do, but I was like, oh, maybe it's too far away, or like, how should I find a way to do this? How should I, like, I was stuck. You know what? It's something called the tyranny of how. It's when you're stuck in your head of asking yourself how to do it. And it doesn't, and it never works. It never, I can tell you right now, if you're stuck in the how, you're over. You're not gonna get out. So, I just talked about the first step. The second step is removing the things. We remove the things that is not aligned, first of all, but also feels bad. So that could be a process of removing ideas, beliefs, stories about what life has been. You know, this was a game changer for me. Like, I tell you, this changed my life. When I truly took this to my heart, when I truly accepted this, what I'm about to say to you right now, it changed everything. Don't let your past define your future. When you can accept and understand that the pain that's been pushed onto you was there for a reason, and it's actually there for you to grow, you are unstoppable. And that's what we do in a step 2, like the second step in this process. We make sure that we use the pain in the past and the shit that we want to hide and put away. We make sure that we use this to our advantage. And we don't let our past define where we're going. And when we can take this stories and all of this stuff, we can take that and we can empower ourselves. We can kind of like not define ourselves by our past. Rather than like, you know what? My past is my story and everything was happening for me, not to me. All of a sudden we can package that stuff, we can turn it around, and we can use it in the step 3 that I'm going to talk about really shortly here. Because when I changed my not my past, but the way I was looking at my past, I can use that information and empower myself. Like, I was abandoned as a child, I was abused, it was a tough journey. I was taken advantage of, and I was like, there's so many things. But all of a sudden, when I flipped that stuff around and I understood that life is happening for me, not to me, all of a sudden I can use that energy. And you know what? What did it teach me? Well, it taught me this and this and this. And all of a sudden the game changes. Like it's a different game. So when in step 2, we are taking this stuff up and we are like, you know what? Let's use it for our advantage. And then in step 3, we're going into creation mode, basically. And we start to learn how to use our power for us. We learn how to build a new thriving. Hold on, I need to log in here. We learn to build new thriving stories and beliefs and ideas, and we learn how to put the positive stuff inside of us. Like so this is you. First you pour it out. First you pour the old stuff out, and then you fill with new stuff. And this time you can choose what you want to put in here. Very cool. I love this process. So when you can choose what to put in here and what you're gonna carry with you to the future after this event, when you've been at this event, you can this is the cool part. You can actually decide. You can decide what you're gonna feel, where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, when you're gonna do it, and there's no like blockages left. So we're gonna remove all of those blockages. Remove them, remove. So they're not non-existent. They're still in part of your story and still part of your old life and everything. But from this moment on, it's a new journey. It's a new super cool journey, and this time you decide. That's what I want. I was like, you know what? I want to dictate. And how can I dictate what I manifest if I don't dictate my own stuff? When I understood that everything is a reflection, right? I needed to look at this. What do I wanna create? Like I can choose from whatever thing I want. What do I want to do? What do I want to experience? Who do I want to experience it with? When do I want to experience it? Like, how do I want to feel when I experience this thing? Because everything that we do is to feel something. There's not a single thing that you are doing that is for you to feel something. This is a bomb. Everything that you do is for you to feel something. So if you hang out with a friend, you do that to feel something. If you are with a partner, you feel something. If you drink alcohol, that's because you want to feel something. If you kind of like eat a cinnamon bun, it's because you want to feel something. Right? Makes sense. Simple. So when we then in the third part kind of like created all this new, amazing, interesting things, and we defined our mind, like this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna go for. Then we have the fourth step, and that is the anchoring step. We need to anchor shit inside of us. We need to anchor it and like drill it so deep that when you leave this event, the 26th of January, you are not the same person that came. You are not the same, and you have decided what to take off and what to add. Isn't this wild? You have decided what you left behind, and you decided what you put in. Amazing! That's super cool. This process, I am so grateful. It have changed both my life and how I feel, what I do, where I'm going, how I'm like taking on my day. Like, it changed everything in a way that I could not even believe in the beginning. But the only thing that I believed that it must be a way. There must be a way, and I'm gonna make sure I find the way. I'm gonna make sure I find the way, and then it went into like, I'm creating the way. I am the one creating the way, which is super cool. And this is what I wanted from the first place, but it just took me almost 30 years. Almost 30 years it took me to understand this. What if I was given this when I was 15? Or if my parents would have imprinted this shit inside of my mind as a child? I wonder where I've been at this point. What if you would give, I don't know if you have kids. I don't have, but I'm going to have in the future. What if you give this to your kids? What if you showed up in a way that you wanted with your life? So your kids looked up to you and like, you know what? My father or mother is the coolest person ever alive. That's what I want from my children. I want to be a, what do you call it? Like a model. I want to be a role model to my future kids. And I decided in my core being, I'm not getting kids until I live my dream all the time. I've decided that I want my kids to be like, my father is the best father. And so I also give them the tools of like living their life on their terms so they can go out and do the same. What if my parents would have imprinted me this shit as a child? What if I could give this to my future kids? What if I could give my kids, my people around me, and everyone around me a better life when I become better? What if I can give that gift to my own family? What if I could give that to my coworkers? What if I could give that to, that's like anyone. That's how powerful learning manifestation is. Like it doesn't just change you, it changes everyone around you. It makes sure that these people also like get on the momentum of manifestation. So you get to manifest the things that you want. And I'm not saying that everyone is going to be like my life or anything like that. No. Like everyone has their own journey. But understanding manifestation is like having the, as I said before, it's like having the book of the universe. It's like, I want this car. I want this thing. I want this journey. I want this partner. I want this house. I want, like, if you understand, like I want to have things and I can just order it out of my universe book. And when I know how to put my manifestation into process, when I know how to align my inside to what I want, all of a sudden I get it like this. It comes to me instant. There is no resistance to what I want. Is that making sense? I know it sounds crazy for people because if someone would have told me this like 10 years ago or like something like that, I would be like, okay, I can kind of understand. Yeah, I will be like, I really wanted to believe it 10 years ago. I really wanted to believe it. And it took me 10 years to kind of like learn this thing. And now I'm so happy that my journey comes to like, I get to inspire and teach other people to do the exact same thing. So if you want to like manifest like something else in your life, like anything, like I want to be, I don't know, a superstar, or I kind of like, I want to have this stuff, this material stuff. All of it, like, as I said before, we're always manifesting either positive or negative. It's called counter manifesting. So if you're getting the wrong stuff, it's because you're already doing it, but you don't know how to change it. You don't know how to put yourself on the momentum of like getting all the positive stuff. Is that making any sort of sense? This is so cool. Like I can tell you stories for hours of all the stuff that the universe, life, God, I don't know, call it whatever you want, I don't care, like gave me. And you know what? Most of the times it was all free. It was all free. And this is the crazy part. It was all given to me like for free. Or they even paid me. Like this is the crazy part. Ian, making sense. Yes, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And you know, when I think about all the moments I traveled around the world, I'm like, people paid me to stay at their hotels. people, listen to this. This is wild. They paid me to live at their hotel for free. I got to live on the beach in Tulum last time, and they paid me to live there. And I manifested that, for example. It's just one example. But I was so happy. The Tulum beach, I don't know if you know, it's expensive. It's like $800, $900, $1,000 per night. I lived there for 2 months. What? It's crazy. And it brings me joy when I think about it, because I was like, wow, they gave me all that stuff. And it's, here's the thing. Most of the time, why we can't get the man, and I teach this, I'm going to teach all of this and I'm going to make sure that this ends up right inside of you also. At the event, I will teach you how to receive. Because manifestation, listen to this. This is very, very, very important. Manifestation is about receiving. If they gave me those things for free, it means that I accepted it. I took it. Like, they gave it to me. Here, take this thing. I take it. I can also reject things, right? If you try to give me something, if you try to give me this, and I say no, maybe I say yes with my conscious mind, but my subconscious says, no, don't take it. Don't take it. Because if you take it, maybe someone's gonna be angry, or like, I'm not enough, or like, what will people think about me, or like, there's a lot of resistance in this process. But when we get the resistance off, all of a sudden, man, I'm telling you, what you can manifest in your life, there is no roof. So if you want to do this, like, get to my Facebook page and you can read more, and there's a link there. You can go there and you can sign up for this if you want to come. It's I have early bird prices, and it's only going to happen one time. So if you want to come and you're like, I want to learn this shit, you come. I teach it to you. Like, I tell you exactly what I do. I bring you through a process. I help you do this. And when you see this like working, you're like, oh it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. It's a really, 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 really cool process. And this process, I'm just so happy that I found it out, and that I done it on myself, because I was like, oh, this doesn't work, and this doesn't work, and then it's like, it didn't work, and it didn't work, and it didn't work, and I just kept on going, and finally I found what works, and it's super cool. It's really, really cool, actually. So go down, click a link. I'm happy that you watched this far, and if there's something that you're wondering about, just ask me, like in the comments, or I respond as fast, or like you can DM me if you want also. Have a good weekend, and I think 2025 is going to be amazing. It's going to be so cool. And when we can manifest, it's going to be even better. Much love, guys.